Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Sognsdal Saga series of Crusader Kings 3 here on the Lord Master channel, in which this is going to be the episode where a couple of things will happen. And first things first is, well, we will return to territorial expansion. Not done by my vassals, but by my own free will. Because there's a couple of places that I want to get. And we want to get to Islandia. But first, we're going to do a bit of island hopping here. Yeah. Starting with the Orkney Islands, which I believe is it that one? Or no, that's Orkneysia. Orkney Island, this is Heltland. And then after that, then we'll go to the Islands, which is the Faroe Islands. I believe that's how it's pronounced, right? And then into Islandia, also known as Iceland, better known. So there's going to be some changes around here, and that's territorial. But before we do, actually, we can take the time with that, because I was about to say this is just one province. Well, this one we would have to fight against Scotland, which will be easy, even though it's got some big backup here. Particularly this one, and this one only. So, okay, two things here. It's been a while since we've done any realm espionage, so I want to know the size of the troops. And then at the same time, we would want to, just check out their troops if I know theirs is inferior in any shape or form. So, let's not waste much time here. And I'm sorry, my friend, but the island is mine, and we shall enforce it. You got any allies? No. Okay, let's make things a little easy and simple here. Raise men in arms here first, and then raise local army. Screw it. Just men at arms only. Thankfully, we got a military engineer, which will make things a little easier. So get going. Who dares? Populists. Yipe. We gotta deal with that soon, because there's about to be a big uprising in England. Well, we can get it done with this little war and then all that. And we didn't finish this in the last episode. This is how we finish out here. A life to remember. Torfi. I stand in front of the small crowd of mourners, eyes sweeping over each of the weeping bereaved in turn. I begin my speech. Torfi had a singular drive. Perhaps that's why he was considered a truly deadly duelist, a feat that he may never be surpassed in. The barrow behind me already contains a purpose-built vessel, a product of exotic woods and our best shipwrights. It will never sail mortal oceans, but may please the gods and bring blessings on the deceased. The retainers carrying the last of the burial treasures, and then Torfi's corpse laid on top of its bier. Close the mound. This is how we do funerals around here. Okay, never mind. I'm too weak to send an ultimatum. Set sail to the Altaland. Oh, hell. Not only it's their army, but they also got the Norwegian band. Listen, Ben. Actually, I'll be in charge here. Because we need every advantage we can get against them. Increasing martial skill, just for that. And plus, don't you know that I'm the strategist here? which we can inflict a lot of casualties to them. The old age hasn't caught up with me just yet. But if I get hurt, do not worry. Because this is the man who's currently living in Danzig at that time. Who's done a lot of things. But is he truly the successor to all the titles, all the marbles? Espion, 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 Espion. Yes. If an event that I die, then you'll be the man to do it. You frickin' drunk. Also, you should be married to somebody. In fact, I'll bring you back to court. Come back here, nephew. I got something for you. You just want to make you start a family. And plus, you got talents. So combat skill would be good. We need you here. Anyways, we're gonna make this fatal landing. Edel comes of age. With her coming age, my situation of Edel's at an end. For the longest time, I was hoping that good tillage would be enough to teach her the intricacies of an administration. All efforts have come to naught, however. Few would be impressed by her understanding the subject, but she's at least developed a sound grasp of the basics of management and the beginning of a sensible frugality. Well, that's still good enough, even though she's been practicing trade. And she's an herbalist too. And also, it's this one we oughta watch out for. I may not be that great of an educator, but... I mean, she's the little girl that wants to be a shield maiden. I recall that. Grun. Is it? Or is it Runa? I forget which one is the one that says, I want to be a shield maiden when I grow up. I forget who that was. Speaking of which, would you like to be a shield maiden? Yes. Barely. Because the days of the shield maiden was just a long, old-time memory, and now we're having a revival of that. I only hope that all my daughters become shield maidens when they grow up. Oof. Survey the battlefield, contemplating how this battle will be remembered. And gaze towards the dead that remain. I noticed a group of my soldiers approach, and they politely bow before me. My lord, we cornered the remaining enemies as they made a valiant stand. They gave their lives to protect this banner. Put it on the celebration part. We don't need this useless token. It is well fortified, but you'll do. Now, the son of my friend, the son of a friend. Now, I will be willing to ransom you for 100 because we're going to be winning that war anyway by taking this territory. Now, I just want you to marry this somebody. Only because you'd be dear to me. I was hoping for a genius. But there's plenty of geniuses out there, but I don't want no inbreeding. She'll do. Don't care if you get a prestige hit. I don't even know if he'll even be the one to be my successor. I'm more interested in staying healthy than anything else. Okay, what do we got here? Over 6,000 men that over there has? Well then. Well then, I'm just stammering. I'm like, whoa, crap. That means, we're gonna need, more than just men at arms for this. Yeah, your loyalty is appreciated. Thank you very much. I step out of my tent and rub my eyes. The siege cramp sprawls up before me. The chaos of improvised creations shimmering golden in the low morning light. Pennants snap in the stiff breeze. Cut timbers lay stacked like a wall outside the tents. My low retainer approaches and informs it that the siege is ended. I gather my bodyguards and head to the edge of the camp. The herd of Skakalevik stands for me, a smoking pyre, a grey shadow amid the remains of my conquering army, a desolate wasteland of parched fields and smoking hovels dotted with blood and perversion. Perversion? Witnesses to a nightmare beyond hell itself. In the fields between, the dead and dying lie, prostrate, ashen, mouths slack, eyes empty. The stench is overpowering, sickening, nauseating. The survivors emerge from burnt out husks of houses, their faces blank and pale in the morning light. Grieving widows and orphan children go to and from among the fallen. This is going to be our territory, so spare it. This is part of Norway now, because this day you're part of Norway. And I don't want to control this territory, but anybody who lives there will be given, minor titles. Because I firmly believe that... let me see. Because when you have more characters in the struggle involvement... hold on, let me zoom out here. Yeah, involved. They're involved, okay. So that way, when they're involved, they can help us contribute to the colonization of Greenland. So, step 1's complete. Now, step 2 is to take these 2 islands when we fight against Scotland, but they got a big ally ahead of them here. Here. Drop it. Okay. I'll raise a runestone when everything is settled. Take a drink. So, war against Scotland affects largely Scotland, along with the Cumbriacs. But please wait a month. Actually, remove one. Since we're going to be on the offense here, we need siege weapons. So, wait a couple of months then. And then we'll be back on the offense. Knowing how long this would take to get all the territories that we wanted. Crud. Oh, hold on actually. Sorry about this, On. You can have this. Huh. As a reminder, you people, this is the last ever major goal that I want. Because look at this. We just took this one island territory, so actually taking these two islands in Islandia, you're already, gonna be more than 50% control the Nordic Seas region. And all it needs to do now is to get this to the integration phase as quickly as possible. Not just by me, but everyone else who may contribute to it. And once with that, then we can conclude the colonization of Greenland. In which with that way, we can truly call it the end of the series when we will get regional integration. Something we should have done decades ago, but we didn't, because I didn't know. I just didn't know better, Geysers watching. Geysers are a remarkable phenomenon in Iceland. I had the opportunity to visit one of my territories there to observe one such geyser in person. From a safe distance, of course. It is not every day that someone gets to see such a remarkable sight. I mean, I don't control Iceland. Not yet. Somebody wants to kill my people. Strike, you scheming fool. This is the man we ought to watch out for. Just in case. Pay him a lot of money, then, you may never know that he'll plot against me one day. I mean, look at him. He's paranoid, he's deceitful. Clearly a candidate of a villain. Are these all ready? We're ready again. Okay. I mean, Scotland is protected by those from, what is that area called? Yastred Courtiers of Cumbria culture, mind you. Kinslaying, son of a beeswax. The Nordria is what we want to control. We can overcome any hardship. We ain't scared. And if we get outnumbered again, call the Jones Vikings. Nearly 30,000 strong. Amazing. A split. I will go straight for the objective of the war. To Orkney, Well, you will cover us by taking Teresa. Expect an unpleasant welcome. Unless they're gonna go for one of the inland territories we control, and that's fine. Oh my goodness. Help us out here. They brought Knights Templar, a holy order. Awful lot of troops down there. And they're gonna send all of their men over here. Oh no. We might lose this one. I'm supposed to be the proper man for the job. No way around it. They were waiting, and they're expecting. When we do get defeated and be driven out of sea, get the own Vikings. We need more of these guys. And they're not expected to arrive until 15 days. Just say 2 months of it, I don't know. What do you mean? So slow down here. You need to understand what goes on here. But they're throwing their lot at us now. Okay, fighting has begun. They'll be there in 11 days. And then things are going to get ugly from here. Across the battlefield, I see Gerhard at the top of his horse. I've always learned to try to get into the position of the enemy to better understand how they think and how to prepare for their attacks. But with Gerhard, I can't imagine. Hey, they discuss my religious views. Catholicism is surely a plainly false religion. I stopped to think, should I keep trying to learn his image of the battle and use that against him? Or should I shut off any invasive religious thoughts? I would like to get Holy Warrior. That would be nice to have. Maybe God sees this battle differently. My efforts succeed. Reinforcements are about to arrive. Killing off their men. You know, you should be doing that. It's too bad you're a powerful vassal. There comes reinforcements, and it's gonna keep going up by the time. They got more knights now, which is definitely gonna put a hurt on us. As the battle rages on, I find myself in the midst of a small pocket of close quarters combat. With the help of my men, we smashed the opposition with ease. But the focus of the attention was on me, who miraculously escaped the fire without a scratch. Once I managed to get some hits on the enemies, I seemed to lost my focus and had to be helped multiple times as the enemies began to swarm at me. As I take a second to catch my breath at the attack, I notice some of my soldiers looking on at this point. That ticketed musical show of prowess. I'm normally better, I swear. We're gonna be overwhelmed here. Because now they got an even better commander for the job. Because we killed one of their commanders, and now, yep, we're gonna take more casualties than they do. Cutting through the enemies of ease, I find myself picturing foes like demons. The unclean that I must smite with holy power. Is this just my imagination? Is it just adrenaline or fear? Or some kind of combination of the two? Either way, it feels real to me. Maybe I'm being shown to these demons as a message from the heavens, telling me to use my divine will as a means to strike the enemy down. I continue fighting, invigorated with holy strength as I thunder through Edivik, taste my blade. So, kill one of their knights. Oh my goodness, there's so many of them! There's no way we can defeat them. Miracles have to happen here. And another thing, since this was a defensive battle, what terrain is this? Plains, okay. We got him, somehow. We all have to stick together. Get the Joms Vikings. We can't handle this. Get to us. Need your help. This was indeed a battle, and look at the fame and devotion gain you've made. We took 6,000 casualties. That's unacceptable to my standards. While we gave them 11,000 casualties. Most of the dead were levies. Only 2 of their knights were killed. In fact, others died. As you can see, like, just dead. So, 6 knights were killed. Plus they had the Thane, which does counter against our Burgundian veterans. But if we had more of those Joms Viking pirates, we would have countered against theirs. And their Order Knights were present as well. But, Aldi, you're the man of the hour. You're the proper Viking and you're a berserker. A true Viking, yes. And you did viciously dismember that man during this battle that we had. And in fact, it tells more of the events. So, viciously dismembered. And another man who was also viciously dismembered. Halil, who explored Vinland recently, slew this man. Yes, he slain this man at the end of the battle during the retreat. That was the retreat phase. And Gerhard, who fought against earlier, he got scared to death by a mighty roar. That's what happened here. Well, another one got his head ripped off. And That man was killed during the retreat. And this man, this one I personally killed. You know, he was wounded by him before I finished him off. And then captured 2 prisoners. Quite possibly the deadliest battle we ever fought in the history of this series, but memory escapes me. Obnoxious fiend. This was supposed to be easy. The vibe really did go up, I think. Unless that was from the last thing I did. In a few years, I'll become healthier. I exit my tent. The siege camp sprawls over for me. A jumble of soggy tents, miserable men in grimy clothes, and cooking fires and smoke. Pennant snap and stiff breeze. The smell of tar and native oil hangs in the air. My low retainer approaches and informs that the siege has ended. I gather my bodyguards and head to the edge of the camp. Herald of Kirkovag stands for me. A decaying landscape of coupling towers and bonds. Broken fences and burning fields between here and there. A carpet of fallen bodies, soon to be fitted in the heat of the sun. Bodies strewn about, limbs piled up in mounds. A man's brain and brown viscera lie sprawling in his crushed skull. Grieving widows cut small chunk to their bosses as they flee, clothes tattered and torn. Spare it, because this is major Norwegian territory. We don't burn the lands of the Norwegians. Wherever they may be going, they'll be up to no good. I am drinking alone in town when I suddenly see my friend sit down across from me. I quickly make my way over. We spent the rest of the night drinking together. She really knows how to have a good time. This one best to go then. Drink up, my friend. Okay. Let's move out. Take their capital. It would be better just to get it over with. Well, what if they're going that way and they're going to set up a defense there? And it will take unacceptable casualties when we get there. A lot of them are sailing away. Are they not going to come back and retake this? Well, they are. They're all going to swarm in. You damn fool! Okay, we win this one. I exit my tent as siege camp sprawls over me. Assorted plates, pathetic and undignified. Pennants and pennants of every color swift stiffly back and forth in the persistent wind. Here and there, in tents and makeshift shelters, men huddle over fires, their faces smudged and gleaming with rain. My loyal retainer approaches and informs me that the siege is ended. I gather my bodyguards head to the edge of the camp. The herald of Helmundal stands before me, a blackened, crumbling shell. In the fields between, the ravens feast on the bodies of fallen men. In a clearing outside the sunken village lies hundreds of bodies. Black-veiled women wail amidst the wreckage, while armored men angrily question the captive survivors. What's your development level? 0. Well then, guess what, pal? Limited looting here. At this siege, as the siege comes to an end, I sit and ponder the events that occurred as I commanded this sage's strategic decisions. Were their defenses too weak? Were my men and weapons too strong? Either way, it certainly feels like something was off. My liege, a lot of our fortified holdings still use some of the same technology. I get to the marshal and begin noticing look concern. I look around the room and make myself clear. Until technological developments allow us to improve our forts, we must We must rely on the strength of our faith. So I decided to put my faith in the greater powers to protect my realms. And that I do not want to fight another major battle. I want none of that. No, our culture, not theirs. Now we must rest for a while. I sip my mug of invigorating herbal infusions, eyes scanning over my latest scroll work. Penury and rage. Though conflict brings wrath to all someday, our hero lives to enter the fray. There are few bold enough to voice their dissent, lest they discover where the last challenger went. Truly, I'm one of the great artistic minds of my age. You know, being a poet is a virtue, and it's also more to it than that. It gives you personal scheme success chance and monthly prestige, because that's part of our culture of storytellers and all that. A fine verse. What shall I muse on next? I'd rather be a poet. Northern stories, that's what that cultural tradition is for. Come on in. Every little bit of renown helps. So the levies are going to take a while to recover. And then we'll make one last big conquest towards Islandia, also known as Iceland. Just took a drink of water. Six more years. 6 more years. And of course, since we just took those areas. Yes, it is enough. All you need now is to get to the integration phase. Now remember, when the next time we sent out to the expedition in the west, don't go to Vinland anymore. You have to go to either, that's marginalization screen. You will have to go either Markland or Hilluland. But it seems everybody goes to Hilluland these days. Lesson church. Skull brought my daughter Runa to the market today. Runa was to hand out alms to the poor and needy, to learn about charity and the rulers plight to the less fortunate. This fair child gave something to everyone, Scott says. And when the purse ran dry, she insisted we go get another. Very selflessly, maybe even excessively so. Seems that Runa has a very big heart. Well, generosity runs in the family. It is our plight to give as much as we are able. Well, you taught her the Cumbric language, which I don't know how useful that's gonna be. To be frank. Oh, since you have so much... You barely have any court positions. Well, it's time to change that. Keeper of the Swans. You have the title of England. Ah, yes, I'm the King of England. So the Keeper of the Swans is for the Englanders only. Diplomacy per level of fame. You be the man. Oh, my wife. She should have that. Improves education outcomes. It is sorely lacking, to be frank. Need increased night effectiveness, so that way they can fight a little better than originally intended. Seriously, you can afford all of this. So appoint every talented person that there is, even if we're double dipping their pay. And plus there's people out murdering. But we can't know that. Look at you, tripling your pay. You are the most valuable man in the court. Why the hell not? I just want to increase the court grandeur as well. And give me the best bodyguards to protect me, because there's this paranoid, deceitful man that's one of my vassals, and I fear he may come after me next if I don't please him. Or something. My goodness, how many? You're the court poet, master of the hunt, and I'm owner, and personal champion. You're the best of the best of the best of the best, sir. I think you have to say that twice. And I'll make you designated regent as well. Seriously, a man from Andalusia to Breton. And that's all we could put together, unless you want to appoint somebody as the executioner. Okay, which one of you is going to be the executioner? You. How'd you like to be the executioner? It's not my courtier. Okay. Okay, not a courtier. How about you? Unimportant. You idiot. Not my courtier. Not my courtier. And then this thing says, not your courtier. Well then fine. Recruit and then wise execution. That's what I was trying to get at here. Arr. As I was saying. Look at that. We'll be getting it up in no time. In fact, far enough that you can get to the next level of the grandeur. Why would you honor that fiend Halil with the poor position of the court and not me? Or better, my brother should tell us to leave it. Apparently it's something that honor would fall him and no one else. Well, I'm sorry, he's better than everybody here. In fact, you're so damn valuable, yet you might as well get married to the best woman in the world. Even though you don't have any inheritable traits. Just bring somebody smart in here. Anna's of childbearing age. Yeah, this one. You don't have any claims on you. You're the best courtier I've ever known personally. Because he's the most talented out of all. Failed to send a courtier to settle in Greenland. Nice job, dummy. That was you down there. That kind of gets me to thinking. Is it time that I can exile somebody to the west again? Let me convince you a little. Oh, you're in dungeon. Hang on. Before you'd potentially be dead. See too if I could send you out of there. Okay. We got him. Exile someone agreeing. That's, well, marginalization phase. I thought it goes to the other way. Hey, you there. Come here. Recruiting you here just to simply tell you to go to Greenland. I'm a generous man. You'll love me and respect me. In fact, since I'm a poet, I said you work about romance. That did a little this way. 100%. Off you go! Towards integration. Okay, now we know what to do. I've been studying the ancient religions text and the writings of scholars. They all seem to agree that the world will end 6,000 years after its creation. All my calculations were less than a century away. However, my risk it is gold. I just mean to keep it to myself. Leave it to the elders to avoid panic. What if your calculations are wrong? I should consult with more health data. Yes. If it's a 6 months. In the past few days, neighboring Sigismund has been visiting my court on his way to some holy site or something. Since his arrival, he has been outshining me with his generosity towards my own courtiers, who have all been lapping up his gold with no dignity. I can't help but scoff to see him surrounded by adoring courtiers for the umpteenth time. My courtiers. A purse for you, good Idil, and some coins for you, kind Baldwin, and for you, sweet Runa, on these sweet honey cakes. Remember, riches are meant to be shared. Heck, I could be even more generous. Yes. Because I'm the most generous man that's ever lived. Huh. While numerous attempts to curry my favor not gone unnoticed, cannot feel but irritated or a sudden interest me. If anything, her obsessed desire to impress me and her blundering displays of fabricated affection only made me dislike her even more. Still, she has a certain charm. My sister died, my friend died. Have we rested long enough? Because I think it's about time to go take Islandia. But I want you to bear in mind, you already have more than enough. But it would be a safe bet just to go take that. Just take it, and then we shall be safe. And then your main focus right now is to decentralize the conquered realms, and then we all must work together to get to the integration phase as quickly as possible. We'll start the war against Islandia in a moment. It's just I was doing some thinking in my mind. Successful minor walrus hunt. Congrats. Even though you have the damnedest, strongest army we've ever fought. Let me see what it looks like around the world that I haven't really bothered to look at. It's sad that the Byzantine Empire is never going to get back together again. Only saying that from the Norse perspective of the Varangian Guards. And of course, there's people out there, our kin living in India, will soon, one day, inherit parts of the land. Parts of the lands that they'll no doubt make great living over there. Yes. My Antiquarian Dagas approaches me with a worried expression of his. My lord, I've grown increasingly concerned about your son of this crowd in the state of utter disrepair has fallen into. It's coming apart. It might never regain its original use, but if you allow me, I can at least salvage a part of the memento of its glory past. After all, this has been a mighty symbol of your power for a while. A trinket. At least it's good for something. Which reminds me. Court artifacts. Anything that involves books. Oh, time is ticking. The sun is high above. It is noontime, isn't it? And it's rather hot outside. In January? I've been out for too long doing whatever business I was doing. I'm starting to feel a little lightheaded. Better change to shade. Maybe drink some water too. A hot day on the middle of January. That's some freak weather. Books, 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 books. Where is these books? There they are. You're looking at them. Repair all of these. Because I'm freaking paranoid. No, 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 no. Yes, we still have our great ancestor Estrid's books. Just a moment. All the books are paid. Today, Skald held a fiery sermon for all the children of the court. Apparently they were spellbound and zealously reading his heroic sagas. My daughter Runa now seems certain that she's destined for greatness, claiming that Odin supports her indiscriminately. Your faith stands above all, my dear chum. I don't want no ambitious children. I'm 51 years old and feeling fine, and I'm pretty healthy. But I'll be even more healthier sooner rather than later. 4 more years. Just 4 more years. And then, Forge Brooch, you got it. Frickin' executioner doing things. You got any allies? Oh, not them again. Not these people again. Aha. So you're the reason for all this. Now, let me see. Ooh. Whoa, take your pick. Messing up a line of succession order would be much better. Better to murder him. Because he's a nice guy. And I'm sure he's got rivals in court. Which he does. Help me out with this. We're about to go murder a man. For the first time in a long time. I don't usually resort to this, but we simply want to take Iceland near flawlessly. And I'm in no mood to fight against, you know, those guys again down there. How deadly they were. Spy masters with us. That's the main reason. Not my spy master, their spy master. They're willing to join the plot. My God, man, leave me alone. Peaceful atmosphere shattered by Peter yelling as he storms the courtyard. Very quickly falls, but stops and says, "Alright, please talk some sense into Peter. I'm trying to help him since I have some experience that may improve his work. How about you leave him alone? It's just a brooch, it's not that big of a deal." Well, she's the heir to one of the titles, at least. Valued warlike courtier, they have that now. That's good to know. Not to mention she's one of our fighters now, as she's a shield maiden. Although skill-wise it isn't the best, but it's good for something. Strong. Brave. You're doing good, my man. Whatever you need. Oh! I just popped my neck. Come on in, Pilgrim. How generous are you? But instead there goes to my nephew who's a Buddhist. What on earth? You were here, and then you went to Janakpur. Who runs the place? Janakpur? It's ran by it's like a nephew and are we related in any way, shape, or form? Lakshman. This happened some time ago. That's Bihar. You're thinking of Maharashtra. This is my nephew, who's running things over there. So finally, the first landed Norwegian character in India. And it's over there. And they've converted to Buddhism there. Norwegian Buddhist. Isn't that an odd combination to you? But have consecrated blood, so they'll be well respected over there. And you'll have a bright future to be vassal lords over there. Yeah. But they may change culture sooner rather than later, because they're likely going to become Bengali. Or Khasa. Khasa is also known as Nepali. Ah, the elective monarchies. An outstanding fighter, you say? Come on in. Why did you say so? We can't send another man till next year. Okay. Another man or woman. Another character to Greenland. Thank you. No longer a court physician. In this case, you challenged me to a board game. Oh. You did diplomacy, eh? I see. You want to play, huh? Okay, let's play. This is a friendly game. Haven't done this in a while. Kind of, Alfreda is already waiting to begin our Hednet Fatafel match. Sitting waiting with a competitive grimace went across her large features. We're neck and neck, and neither of us is close to victory. Did you know that you can learn exactly how someone lies by watching their face during an Fatafel? Crazy. Oh, I didn't mean that, just note. And as it was. Our match marches on. I thought I could turn with a robust attempt at coherent strategy. Naturally, my techniques cunningly fool my opponent. I'm in the lead now, though neither of us is close to victory. Yes, you're leading now, thanks to my opponent. But with a little work, I can catch up. Stab the board. With a smug smile, I've placed my final piece on the board. The game of Antiquity is mine. Another fine victory on my indisputable rise towards the role of the King of Games. Nothing but a shallow husk of a woman is left of her. She can't believe that I won. Well, neighbor. Oh, don't say this in real life, but I'll say it here in this context. How's it feel to lose, little woman? I don't think anybody in the history of the world ever calls somebody little woman. They would say little girl, but never the little woman. There's little boy and there's little man, but nobody ever says little woman. But there is little girl. It's just how it is. No feast. I'm trying to be healthy. I can't go to feast too many times, lest I become obese. Latest work of my vassal, Striker. Oh, you troublemaker, you. He's become all the rage accordingly. His peace deals with success and growing greatness. Bloodlust for Norway. Upon fortified hill, a proud stronghold stands. It cannot expect to have this fire. Friend, our hero rides out. His resolve has been steeled. His sighting blows too harsh to heal. Wow. Near 100% to say, hey, you're crap at this. Poetry. You're not cut out for this. So, as I stated, you're not cut out for this. 3 more years until the formation of the North Sea Empire. We got to go get Iceland soon. Alright. You did it. No, not you, Peter. I'm talking about you. You've done it. Dead drunk. Tonight, while admiring a particularly fine bottle of wine, a thought occurred to me. Everyone knows that Dravak Pita of the Enself is fond of a good bottle of wine. This particular vintage could make a fine present. It could be recorked after addition of some poison, sent with a note of anonymous and admiration. It just might work. A thoughtful gift indeed. He's dead. His last hours of violent hallucinatory nightmare, screaming and coughing blood and ranting. If anyone suspicious is my part in this, they kept it to themselves, since my role in this is unknown. In the end, he drank himself to death. Significant. What's even more significant now is, take Kylandia. No one's gonna stop. There'll be no one to stop us this time. Raider Armada. My Armada, Magnus informs me that his chroniclers have returned from navigating and studying the naval technologies across the seas. He says that with funding, we could have a new ship designed that would outperform our neighbors and usher in an era of maritime supremacy for Norway. On the other hand, my Hertogia Usko would rather spend that gold on things other than trade vessels. What the heck? Huh! 50 years! Oh, we could try this. Sunken silver. Well, I don't want a new ship design, I want a ship of pure silver. I gamble away my funds for an opportunity of an outstanding renown, gathering the greatest artists to build the impossible. A ship of pure silver. They may not like it, but think about it. Think about that. Make it happen. Adultery is a serious crime, you know. Yep, they're waiting for us in Rijeka, which is the Polish name for, you know, the capital of Iceland. As the battle rages on, I realize that there are multiple weak points in our front line, which are particularly vulnerable to an enemy spear attack. Screaming at my men to cover the softened area, my voice breaks. I realize they will not be able to hear me. Quick, I say to the men around me, you need to come with me. As I command them and usher them in the direction of Weaksmont. As we arrive, the enemy has already begun charging into the vulnerable gap in the line, so I rally the men to brace for the coming charge. Whilst we hold, I hear an enemy general shouting above the command, followed by the groans of numerous enemy footmen. What was that sound, I think, before a rain of spears and javelins begin to descend over the shoulders of the enemy push. As projectiles slam into the men around me, one smacks past my head, excruciatingly close to penetrating my skull. As I turn in shock, I see the same spear destined for my head lodged into the chest of a lifeless footman behind me. Jarred and stunned, I waddle away from the enemy charge in a nauseating mix of fear and shock. That could have been me. That was too close, way too close, as I had a near-death experience here. We didn't capture the leader, but we'll capture this here capital. Reykjavik. Reykjavik. That's how you pronounce that in Polish. It's part of that more cultural names mod, which no matter what culture you are, it seems in certain languages and certain provinces they have different names for it. Amazing. We need to capture another territory. Let's move on. I step out of my tent. The siege camp sprawls up before me. My roster's a fare of burlap and leather and roast chicken and bonfire smoke and foul breath and horse manure and blood and death. Flags flutter in stiff northwestern breeze. The colours stark and bright against the dun sky. Here and there, tents and makeshift shelters, manhunter overfires, their faces smudged and gleaming with rain. My low retainer approaches and informs me that the siege has ended. I gather my bodyguards head to the edge of the camp. The opalite of Reykjavik stands for me, a slaughter pen. In the fields between, the dead and dying clutter the ground. Burnt bodies lay at the ends of sharp steel, mangled beyond recognition, and perhaps deserving that mercy, shocked survivors stumble around, dazed by destruction and blood loss. My men look to me for direction. Spare it, and imprison everybody that you see. Oh my goodness. Sister-in-law is dead. Which means the Norwegians, the Sognsdal dynasty, now run India. And few of the others also inherited pieces of land for themselves, for Thorin and Esbjorn. And also he has inherited these artifacts that helps him gain renown. Fantastic! I exit my tent, just siege camp sprawls up before me. A jumble of tents, shelters, and stalls arrange higgly-piggly under a weeping sky. Pennants snap in the stiff breeze. The smell of tar and Nate's-foot oil hangs in the air. My Lord Lieutenant approaches and informs that the siege is ended. I gather my bodyguards head to the edge of the camp. The Opole of Skalahult, that retains its Norse name, its Scandinavian name. A charred graveyard in fields between empty carts and furniture frames smolder, surrounded by the bones of horses and shattered swords. Smoke rises from flaming houses. Shocked survivors stumble among the ruins. Some of arms raised to ward us off, blinding and comprehending. Spare that. We all gotta stick together. They can run, but we'll be taking their holdings and then they'll be out of there. Out of there in no time. Hey, who wants to go to Greenland? Come here. You two are outstanding fighters. What in the world was my daughter Runa doing in the wardrobe and servants' quarters? Playing hide and seek, she claims. She looks like a fool, smiling with stirred cheeks, trolling barely hear what I'm saying. Oh no, I know what happened. She must have seen two of the sorcerers plucking a chicken together. That is undoubtedly lust in Runa's eyes. Hey, if you're going to be zealous and generous, if I were you, I would say, restrain yourself! This is no way for a lady to behave! I'm the man of the house and you're going to listen! Bribe you a little bit of money, and then off to the eastern settlement you go. And he accepted that. Scald, my executor frets through the day, evidently attempted to find the right words. At last, as we make our way to the dining, begins sheepishly. My host, they say, your cousin takes his provided claims on your lands more seriously each day. He talks openly of the illegitimate conqueror of Denmark, who daily asserts his rightful lands and revenues. "99% chance that he escapes and starts a rebellion." I shall write to him once. There, the letter softens him up. Every little bit helps. Hey, get the real expert. All this siege know-how. Now I'm much healthier. I step out of my tent and rub my eyes. The siege camp sprawls out before me. Bristling mass of humanity, living and dying in filth and squalor. Flags flutter in the stiff northwestern breeze. The colors stark and bright against the noon sky. Braziers smoke and guttering flames light the scene with flickering orange glow. The soldiers sit around, holding tankards of mead, relaxed with small talk and camaraderie. Smoke from their fires drifts and fills the air, and the smell of food cooking on spits by the bonfire grows stronger. My low retainer approaches and informs me that the siege has ended. I gather my bodyguards head to the edge of the camp. The Opale of Ostvide stands for me. A ravaged landscape. In the fields between, a dead and dying clutter the ground. Bodies litter the streets, some lying face down in pools of blood, others splayed in every manner, limbs bent in grotesque angles. Shocked survivors stumble into the cobblestone streets, dazed and blood running from their wounds. Spare it. This is all Norwegian territory now. No more Islandia. It is Island. Because I believe that's how it's spelled, right? Iceland. Okay, but first, point to the proper channels. Because mind you, everybody's Catholic. There's still a large minority of the other Christians, the Celtic Christians, and those of the old faith. They're still there. Icelandic culture. I forget about that thing. Okay, everybody be Icelandic then. We'll just put that one Norse there. North sky. It's that spelling. It makes me think of something. Reykjavik. The grand old man here? You get to be a Jarl of Ireland. You got that, Chief? Well, you're Jarl now. Have to decentralize around because you know what's good for you. Now let's raise a runestone. Every runestone tells a message of some significant event of the life of the commissioner. From the smallest peasant to the like myself, the stone records all. What this monument shall speak of. Perhaps against my vanquished foe. Superstitious soldiers. Reprieve from Scandinavian adventures. Somehow this character's won a measure of respite from the relentless Viking hordes. Will not be attacked by landless Scandinavian adventurers. Put it in the ancestral home of Signafilki. Now let's hold court, it's been a while. Celebrating another culture. My vassal, Lothar, approaches me looking disappointed, like he often does. My lord, I have a brilliant idea. How about we host a fair, or perhaps even a festival for the common folk to expose to one another of the different cultures in our beautiful kingdom? Lothar explains the idea further until he realizes he's dangerously close to overexplaining. It'll cost money, but I'm sure it'll foster a more positive relationship between our peoples. The Swabians, that's what he's talking about. We have zero cultural acceptance against them. They're not going to like us for this, but we'll do it just for once. We'll hold a big festival, celebrating both our cultures, because I'm a generous man, damn it. The monster of Sognsdal. A haggard-looking peasant now stands for me. My lord, I beg for your help. A monster in the taiga of Sognsdal, killing cattle and farmers alike. Few have seen it, but the mangled remains of its poor victims leave no doubt. It's clearly a huge wolf, as bloodthirsty as a field has ever seen. Please, send your strongest hunters and save us from the horses' jaws. I may be old, but I still have a few more swings of this sword. I shall fell the beast myself. Point me in the right direction, I'll go after it. The next petitioner is somewhat of a strange report, as I do not recognize her. He has a Tobiasco. It's been on them since they first came. My lord, I could declare that the people of Lithuania are refusing to pay the taxes to levied upon us. In times past, our land and our people are granted rights and privileges which your recent exactions ignore. We request you that you address our concerns fairly, or else. I'm willing to hear you out. I'd be a masterful negotiator. Tax revolt leaders pacified. So, where is where? Oh, up there. In Sami lands. Yes, this is Sami territory, purely Sami. And you tell you that there's a huge wolf out there? I thought you people were the master of the woods. But you may never know what you're up against. Last time we seen a vicious animal that's been attacking people was a big moose, I believe. But a vicious wolf? I don't know, but this is a pretty scary thought. You are 2 years away from forming, you know... Look, if warfare didn't kill you, will a giant wolf will? Will a giant wolf curb our ambitions? Because our realms will be split, thus undermining everything that we've worked on. It could happen. Yep. We will soon be going up to the frontier territories. The monster of Sognsdal. All preparations complete. I set out with a selected group of guards to face the infamous monsters terrorizing Sognsdal. It doesn't take us long to fight it. A clear trail of the blood leads us straight to the creatures above. I was already informed what to expect, but when the massive wolf finally stands in front of me, I can't help but shiver. Face me, you foul beast! Done killed that monster. I'm the giver of rings, and carried up like that, I'm gonna be the giver of lives. The giver of lives, the taker of lives, there you go. You don't give life, what are you, a miracle worker? Cookies flavored with rose water, my mage, someone asks. Offer me as I sat on my desk doing work one day. You've been hard at work, you need a good sugary snack. No, I need to focus on my work. Don't you know what's coming in a few years? Don't you know it? Generosity does run in the family. Heck, when everybody's grown up, I might switch the vote to her. She's the one with the martial education and no heir. Brother. No heirs in my dynasty. Well, I believe it's because you're voting for somebody who's set to inherit everything that isn't from our dynasty. Now, keep in mind, I'm a very healthy man. And do you know what happens if I die and then Norway falls to another dynasty? That will not be the end of the series. There's still Sognsdal lying around in other places. And it would be up to them to fight for it. That's why it's called the Sognsdal Saga. So you could say the line of will continue, but the Sognsdal are found all over different places. Places as far as we don't have any contact with them. A hidden temple in my realm suffered a tragedy recently when unknown assailants broke in at the night and vandalized some religious arts and sculptures inside. Seems these hooligans wanted to cause trouble. As if they weren't thieves looking to steal priceless spiritual artifacts. Either way, they managed to escape before the guards could catch them. You have no idea who they are. Regardless, while the temple didn't suffer extensive damage, it is seeking any help in rebuilding. I will provide donations to help them with their rebuilding. He may be my cousin, but they calls him the Dung Named. And he's very healthy too. Oh, you think you're gonna outlive me, huh? Well, we have similar health bonuses. Died in his sleep. Failed to send a courtier. Oh, no. Switch to a much more skilled one. I don't trust that man. But the documents that I have... By documents, I mean murder. You lose 1 gold. That's it? Okay. We've researched every technology there is to research in the late Antiquity. In 1 year's time, we will become feudal and we will enter into the early medieval era, which will take another few years. And also, I've just noticed that it looks like Ireland is united. If they can keep together. Oh, he actually wants a piece of that. Heck, they may have a chance to form Ireland themselves. Okay, the date has now reached April 11th. 1 more year exactly, and then we will finally form the North Sea Empire title. Just remain content. Now my health is fine, which means I'm expected to live up to the 70s. If only I was Herculean, and then all these things, I could live up to the 90s. Imagine that. But as a reminder, you people, and you've probably heard this a few times, my longest lived character I've ever played was during my very first playthrough with Asturias, where my character, who was not only the Emperor of Hispania, but he was also Crusader. He lived up till he was 92 years old. But, however, during one of those said crusades, he got captured. He was in a dungeon, which doesn't help. And he was also obese. So he could have possibly lived up to 100 if he wasn't so reckless. We heard this story before in this man's life. We ain't sacrificing nothing until we reach next April. Thought this was part of Norwegian territory, but no, this is. I'm trying to think. So, at this rate, It used to be 501 or something. We passed halfway in the mark towards integration. And so next, in a few months, we will form the North Sea Empire title. And then our main focus is going to be towards integration. Because to me, I kind of want to end this series soon. And before we talk a little more, cow and calf. I am passing through West Riding, particularly in an area known as Egalitarian. There's a large rock formation there called the Cow and Calf by locals due to their resemblance to such. According to local legend, the two rocks used to be one until the giant Rumbold, who once lived in Yorkshire, was fleeing the wrath of his enemy, his own wife, amusingly enough, and stamped on the rock by accident during the chase, thus splitting the rock into two. Anyways, it's a beautiful sight, and the rocks are framed most elegantly against the rest of the grass in the sky. To think that wonders in nature exist. They're talking about where is West Riding? Yeah, West Riding here. Talking about these areas that's located around here. Mix of English and who are they? Welsh. Yeah, mix of English and Welsh. Well, there's that hybrid culture that's still around. Steak, Humberfair and Networks, all those things. All the more reasons why I decided to hold that for myself, despite the fact it's feudal government. But I'm about to become feudal now in 2 months now. So let's zoom out a bit so you can get a grand view of this nation's going to undergo a significant change. And it's been reigning for 30 years now. Since the 11th of April. But unfortunately, there is someone who will not be living to see this happen. But how can a heart endure this kind of pain without breaking? It cannot be possible. Yet here I am, my heart's beating on whilst it's gone quiet. Oh, Edda, my morsel, life will not be the same without you. At least the memories remain. If only you were still alive just one more year, my love. Just one more year, and you would have seen this event that's about to occur now. In a couple of days, of course. This is the moment that we've been waiting for the 30 years of my rule. Stop. I know it's a bit day off, but on the 12th of April, the kingdoms of England, Denmark, and Norway, and Sweden, rich, fierce, and bound together by trade and noble blood. If only someone could overcome their individualism, welding the three, four, permanently. And that someone's going to be me. We get the North Sea. We will become feudal. All the tribal holdings in the realm will become castle holdings. My tribal vassals will change to feudalism. I will be the High King of the Seas, as this character is the undisputed ruler of the North Sea, a supreme thalassocrat, which increases the life expectancy of it. The vassal opinion will go up, which everybody will respect me. And it doesn't cost much to embark, and our ships will be moving fast, and we get a lot of levies that will be coming from the vassals here. And I will no longer be called the Giver of Rings. Instead, I will be the Sea King. Above all, a High King. It has been long my ambition to unite the great kingdoms of the North Sea beneath a single and permanent crown. For years I have toiled, winning recognition as a great ruler of each of my realms in turn, and today I make good on my dream. After carefully wording oaths of unceasing fealty from key vassals, Saxon, Norwegian, Dane, Swedish, and others alike, I have acknowledged my office as High King, the undisputed overlord of the North Sea. Perhaps my descendants will continue to rule the kingdoms as one, Perhaps they won't. Thankfully, it no longer matters. Whoever wears the lesser crowns, all shall bow to the Sognsdal Saga, a lasting, mighty realm. 1,000 fame gain. And look at this crown now that I wear. And this is how the North Sea is spelled in the Norwegian language. Nordsjord. Nordsjord. I believe that's how you pronounce that. But anyways, before we will, so, you know, all that. Let me see. It's just chatting with a friend on phone. Well, we are an empire now. We are feudal. And also we have Confederate partition again. But they're still elective. But if they can rule the lesser realms themselves, except maybe... No, wait. But then again, your high prestige is high enough to, you know, get rid of that elective nonsense. And stick with partition. I wish it would. I wish we had, you know... But it says it'll be 16 years. I mean, just wait until the next month for it to register. It's like, are we really indeed making progress? Let me see. No, you are not making progress. And I guess there is a reason why. I mean, yes, you are feudal. I believe it's that pagan faith of ours that's preventing this. Yeah. I mean, we're feudal now, but what does this mean to the old faith? Huh. I don't know why you keep calling it old, as it's been well established. It's always like that. Come on, work with me. I was just messing with something. I mean, we'll wrap up this episode soon. It's just I wanted to end that series on that note. There is one place you can build a university on. And, that's where again? Oh, over here. Granta Breach. Is that where Cambridge is located, or am I crazy? But anyways, that's what made me thought of it. It's like, hey, if you want to build a university there, then it's going to take a long time to try to get it developed. But that's not the point. The point is that we completed this major goal of this series, but our work is not yet over for this series. Because I will put an end to this series soon. This is just a footnote that I just wanted to, you know, put a stamp on it to make a statement here. Because in the latter part of this series, we will get it to integration. And since I have now increased the life expectancy as this High King of the Seas, so I'm expected to live up to the 80s. As long as I keep myself healthy and perhaps marry somebody with high intrigue to keep me protected from any schemes or any attempts of murder towards me or anything like that. And then maybe then I'll be the man with 3 nicknames. You know, to give her rings, the Sea King, and maybe perhaps at the end of the series, the Explorer. We just need to get to integration. We all must work together. Which means we got to go on an expedition to places that is not Vinland anymore. We'll stop going to there. And our next one will be next year. Okay. So, tune in for all of that in the next episode. Because we'll be ending this series soon because of my, you know, wasn't too committed to this series as I became, you know, more interested in doing a series on another. that I've been doing as of late, which is pretty well apparent if you've been keeping up with my channel. So I would say we have about 1 or 2 more episodes left. It just depends on the rate of how everybody is doing with the Greenland struggle. That we got to get to integration, and then once we enter the integration phase, then we will have the ending of the struggle, and therefore the ending of the series. I originally did this series in the first place, which would be all about the Greenland struggle and all of that. And so we will end that series when we get to the ending of this, which is we need to fully integrate Greenland and the Americas into the North Atlantic sphere. That's what's needed. And of course, and it will increase, and then maybe perhaps, let me see, maybe one day we will, you know, re-establish an outpost to Vinland when the viability gets high enough, and then subsequently, maybe, just maybe, well, actually that's a way long way, has been resolved with regional integration. Vinland outpost viability of at least 80. Jiminy Christmas. I'm not going to prolong that series that long, but maybe at some point that I would do another video, like whenever I just play this in a free time and all that. I mean, I don't know. But I just am looking forward to putting an end to this struggle and to this series sooner rather than later. So I hope you people have enjoyed this episode, but until then, the next one, so long for now.